Okay, so this is the first solo episode of Speak Freely TV, basically just a platform where you come on and either speak with other people or just speak yourself to the camera and say what's on your mind, like what you think is true and what you think is important. And it's sort of encouraged to speak about the things which you're generally not going to talk about because of other people's reactions, right? So you're withholding how you feel because you're afraid of how people are going to react. So this platform is basically, hey, that's not a bad, you got to do that sometimes, right? You can't, in certain situations, you can't say certain things. So that's fine. That's fine. But you do need to be able to say what you feel, like share what's really inside you without having to hide it from at least some people that you know. Like you need those type of close relationships. And so I mean, my feeling is that I didn't have those type of relationships. Like I couldn't say what I really felt and felt like I was coming from a genuine, authentic place, willing to be shown that I was wrong and to be actually, emotionally punished by the other people who are, friends and family, like the closest. So, I mean, I think humanity really needs that. I think people really need that. And so Speak Freely is kind of encouraging people to be brave, right? And so this is a little bit of an extreme because Speak Freely TV is about putting it on the internet, right? And once you put it out there, it's there for everyone. So it's a little bit beyond what I'm hoping normal people do in their normal lives. But I do think it's important to make a statement and say, hey, this is important. We should speak freely, and we should be willing to fight for that. So all right. So the topic that I want to talk about today kind of goes into non-mainstream medical topics. And so because at least I live in the United States and it is not actually legal for me to talk about these things in certain ways, right? So free speech isn't actually a real thing in this country. Because of that, I feel I need to give a little bit of a disclaimer before I begin. So basically, you should consider me crazy for the rest of this video. You can call me Crazy Cahlen. And I am almost certainly wrong about at least one thing that I'm going to say. So you should probably do your own research, make up your own mind, and take responsibility for your own actions. All right, here we go. The topic is basically myopia. And myopia is when your eyesight starts to go bad and you can't see very far away. So there's this guy named Jake Steiner, and he recently, I think in the last decade or something like that, kind of decided he had -4 diopters, which is pretty bad. Things have to be pretty close to you for you to see them clearly. So, and he wore glasses or contacts or something like that. And he's like, there's got to be a way to fix this. And, he went into all the actual latest research on eyesight and stuff like that, and then became familiar with other things, which like exercises that have been in the past, like the Bates method, I think it's called, which is supposed to help you, with your eyesight. But he ended up kind of developing his own thing, and that thing is basically, well, I'll give you the kind of the theory behind it. So, when you first start to get bad eyesight, before you've ever gone to the eye doctor, that's something happening in your eye which is different than what makes your eye get worse and worse and worse and worse down to like -4, -5, right? That's a different thing, right? So there's the initial thing which makes you go, oh, I can't quite see, and I better go to the eye doctor, maybe I need glasses. So you go and you get glasses. And so you had this one reason why your eye was like it the way it was, and then you got glasses. And now you have glasses and your eye was used to seeing things blurry, right? That's what your brain thinks it's supposed to be seeing. That's what your eyes think they're supposed to be seeing because they've gotten used to it, right? And the body has a way to kind of want to get back to what's supposed to be normal, right? So when you put the glasses on, gets better. You got real sharp vision, but your eyes and your brain, they want to back off back to that other place, which they thought is normal. And so eventually you're not going to see clearly with the glasses anymore. So you're going to need to get another pair, a little bit stronger. And you do this over a long enough period of time, and you're going to get down into where you can barely see like something right here. Right. And that's actually where I've been. So I want to give kind of my story about this. So I went down to almost like -5, right? That was pretty bad. And I went to an eye doctor, and he gave me a new prescription. And then I went home, and I had to wear those contacts, I think, for 2 weeks, and then come back, and then he would see if it was actually the right contacts for me. So I wore them for 2 weeks, but here's something else I did. Those 2 weeks, I had just ordered a CBD, like oil type thing, tincture, which I would put in my mouth. And I basically took it most of those 2 weeks. And when I went back to the eye doctor, he was like totally flabbergasted. He says, I never get this stuff wrong, ever. And he was like 0.5 off, which is a lot off, right? And so from my perspective, I mean, I don't know, maybe he was off. Maybe he did make a mistake in this situation. But I actually suspect it was the CBD. And I think that what it was doing was it was solving that first step to myopia, which I talked about earlier, before you ever got glasses. So that's kind of my understanding of it, is that that's basically a tension in your eye from using it in kind of an unnatural way. So like reading a book close up right here, or looking at your screen, which is something that we do a lot lately, is when your eye looks at something more close up, it actually is tensing up, right? It's relaxing to look farther out, and it's tension to look closer in. So you're holding your eyes at a tension, and you're keeping it there for sometimes hours, right? And let's say you're doing that with your muscle or something like that. Like there's going to be some effects in that muscle and how it acts and how it's going to act in the future, right? And its flexibility and all that type of stuff. So basically what results from not using your eyes naturally is it starts to kind of get into a funky state where you're like 0.5 to 1 diopter off, right? And that's solvable with like exercises, or just doing things which are going to relax your eyes. Now, I think that the CBD did that for me. And so I went back 0.5, but then I still had all the rest of it, like the 4.5, which was caused by going through glasses that doctors told me that I needed to get. They basically made me worse and worse. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is there's a place called Zenny Optical. It's a website. You can order glasses online, and you can put in whatever prescription you want. I don't know how they're getting around the law that you have to have a prescription from an ophthalmologist or whatever they're called. I don't know how they're getting around it, but you can do it right now. You can go online. You can order glasses which are a different prescription than what your doctor would give you. And so, like, I did it. And, I mean, I would personally say, yeah, why not go for it? It's a pretty prominent site. I also would say, isn't it kind of weird that we have to ask for permission to put glasses that are shaped a certain way in front of our face? I mean, it's easy. They're not hard to make. Like, there's machines all over the place. I could just go, let's just go find someone who can make them for me, and I can do it. Why is there a rule that I can't do that? So I understand the whole idea behind prescriptions and things like that, even for medicine, that we want to protect people. We want to make sure that they are getting the advice of a doctor before they do that. Okay, it's probably a good idea to get advice from an expert, but I should never be forced to get advice from an expert, especially not someone who I personally don't consider to be an expert, right? I'm the one who gets to decide. So fine, you can make recommendations about, yeah, you should probably go see a doctor before you use this. That's fine. That's a good idea. I agree. You can't force me to not acquire glasses which are shaped a certain way and put them in front of my eyes. It's just ridiculous. Anyways, Sorry, getting a little bit charged up. All right, so basically, in order for this to work, it takes multiple years for you to walk it back, all the damage that's happened. But it works if you're doing it right. So you watching this video is not going to make sure you know how to do it right. And I think even watching a few videos from Jake Steiner, it's not going to get you there. Like it's really important that you understand how it works, because it's something that you're going to have to be thinking about, for several years, like on a constant basis. Like what am I doing right now? What is the strength of my glasses, right? Because the general idea is you want your prescription to be at a point so that when you look far out, it's not quite clear, so that your eyes are kind of moving back and forth between clear, not clear, clear, not clear, clear, not clear, right? So the eye's making adjustments. It can move within this range. And if you're a little bit less than what optometrists would say that you need, then over time, your eye is going to tend to gravitate towards, it wants your vision to be clear. So if you're wearing glasses which are not quite there, it's going to make the little extra move to get it there, and it's teaching itself how to do that. So over time, you wear, like I got glasses which are less than what my prescription is, and I look out in front of me, and there's things which are clear, which are not clear, but they're just about to be clear, and I'll look at them and I'll blink, and I'll like close one eye, I close the other one, right? So maybe it's clear in this one, but it's not clear in this one. But when I do this, it seems to help the other one get clear, right? So you're just helping your eyes to resolve that fuzz line over a long period of time. And so my goal is to get all the way down to not needing glasses, because it's kind of weird having this thing right here, right? And you can't see over here, and I don't know how to make them. So if all the people who know how to make them go away, then I'm blind, so that's not cool. All right, so that's what I have to say about the whole Jake Steiner method for fixing your myopia. There's a cool podcast. This is actually where I learned about it from, and I'll put a link to that down below. It's like an hour long or something like that. It's a good conversation. And then if you really want to get serious about it, I'd say you should go to his website, and I'll put a link down there too. Or maybe the next step is just watch a bunch of his YouTube videos, but I would say it's probably still a good idea that you read some of his articles. You don't want to spend 2 years of your life trying to do something and you just didn't do it quite right, so it didn't work at all, right? So it's important that you are sure you know what you're doing. All right, so that was the first episode of Speak Freely TV with Cahlen. It's going solo. There's going to be more, and I've been thinking about it earlier today, and there's some more controversial ones coming up. So we'll see how that goes. All right, take it easy.